Hey you guys, just wanted to come on chat for a couple of minutes. I wanted to personally thank everybody who came and watched all the sandwich videos, and the biggest hit video was the sidekick sandwich. It got the most views, the most likes. So thank every one of you who come to view all of them. I had somebody come by and bring me some sweet potatoes. Look at this. I broke the end off from it bringing it out. I dropped it. But look at the size of that thing. That's a sweet potato. It's crazy. Look at this. And then they brought me eggplant. And I was just like, what? Look at this. I'm not a big fan of eggplant, but I will do something with them. You know, I won't just throw them out or whatever. I will do something with them. I was watching a antique dealer, or not an antique dealer, what's he do? He goes to yard sale and buys stuff, sells it on like eBay and stuff like that. Rummage seller. Anyway, he was at this one yard sale and he picked up these little dolls out of this box, and they were the Baree dolls from the early 1970s. They used to give them away at carnivals, and it was a little lady with her hands up like this, and she has a little nightgown on, and they had sticker things on them where you could put them on your windshield or window, and or you could set them on your dash. And as a little kid, I remember my grandpa having one on the dash of this car. Every car he had, he put that little girl on there, little lady, and you could see right through her nightgown. And I always wondered as a kid, I'd look at that and I'd look at Grandma, and I'd wonder, how could you ride in the car with that on the dash? But you know, like her point is, it was just a novelty item. It was just a doll. You know, it didn't offend her in any way, shape, or form. And I always wondered about that as a kid. Well, he found a couple of those dolls in a box. And back in the day, they sold for like $1.99, or you want them at the carnival. Now they're like $24 to $25. But I remember that doll just plain as day. And then I got to thinking about some other stuff. When I was about 5, 6 years old, and we lived down in a house on the main highway, Scenic Highway 12 there in Rogers. The old Calhoun station used to be here, and then there was 2 houses built here. Because when Rogers was down over the hill, Calhoun station was where the stagecoach came in and picked up people and left people. And then over the years, it got turned in, when Calhoun station shut down, they turned it into a hotel or a bed and breakfast type place. And then they built 2 houses on this side for the workers to live in. And then about, probably when I was in my 20s, the house had been empty for many, many, many years. And then whenever I was in my late 20s, they tore the house down completely. So it was there for many years. Because they didn't even move the town of Rogers from the bottom of the hill to the top until 1889. And Calhoun Station was standing then. But I remember I went in at one time, and it had a fireplace in every bedroom, huge kitchens, doors that thick on the kitchens. 2 kitchens, and then there was a staircase that curved down like this. It went down to the basement, and they had, when it went into a hotel, they had turned that into a bar. They built a bar down there for their guests. It was nice, and of course they tore the house down. But anyway, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, we rented one of the houses that the workers for the hotel used to live in. The managers, I guess you'd call them, I don't know. Anyway, there was a house here and a house here. They weren't small houses, but they weren't big houses. And there was a driveway right down the middle, and his driveway on this side was on that side of his house, and ours was here. And about 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet off the edge of our driveway in his yard was a big old apple tree. Some of the most pretty apples I ever seen in my life. Well, when we moved there, my mom marked a line on the side of the driveway, and she said, "You are never to pass that line. You do not go in the neighbor's yard. Passing that line for any reason, you're going to get into trouble." Well, the kitchen window happened to be on this side, and it overlooked the driveway and where that tree was. Well, the old man knew that as little bitty kids, we wanted one of those apples bad. We wanted one of those apples bad. Well, we knew better, but the old man, he used to come out there, and he really appreciated Mom keeping us out of his yard and out of his apple trees and all of that. And he always made sure Mom was watching out the kitchen window. He never did it when she wasn't watching, because he didn't want to get us kids into trouble, because he knew if we went in a house with an apple in our hand, first thing Mother was going to think is we crossed that line and went over and got an apple off his tree. He'd catch all those kids out in the yard, and he'd pick apples off the tree, and he'd roll them across the yard to us to get them to us, so we didn't cross the line to come and get them. But he always made sure Mom was, and I just, for some reason, that popped into my head. I hadn't thought about that in years, but I was probably 5 or 6. But he'd get out there and he'd just roll the apples. He'd get on the ground and he'd roll them over across the line so we could get them. And if it didn't cross the line, he'd walk over there, get them, and he wouldn't hand them to us. He'd roll them on the ground. It was a lot of years after that I realized that he always made sure Mom was watching out the window, that he wasn't doing anything, you know, behind her back, and he wasn't going to do anything that was going to get us kids into trouble. But that was just so sweet. Anyway, I just wanted to come on real quick and show you my sweet potatoes, and thank you guys for watching the sandwich videos. And I do have an ideal in another mind. I have another ideal in mind that someone gave me, and of course I have 3 or 4 other ideals. But I'm going to take a week off, week or 2 off from the series part, do other videos, and then we'll get back onto that, because it seemed to be a pretty good hit. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for coming and listening to me chatter, 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 chatter.